So Phil Spencer, the executive vice president of gaming at Microsoft, has stated that Xbox Live is not a free speech platform. Last month, he also wrote a 1,200-word essay that was all about, and I quote here, building a safe and inclusive gaming environment for everyone. He also notes that gaming's ever-increasing cultural impact, quote again, comes at a time when digital life includes a growing toxic stew of hate speech, bigotry, and misogyny. So here's what Microsoft's planning to do to make the platform more inclusive. So they're going to have an addition of groups and clubs. So he used an example that if you don't like swearing, you could join a no swearing club and just be put into matchmaking with those players that think the same way as you. And there would be a moderator to review and look at everyone's activity to ensure that like these rules were followed of the club. They are also reviewing features that currently are only in parental controls and looking to expand that out further so that every individual can have their own particular restraints and guidelines. So do you agree with what Phil Spencer and Microsoft is trying to do here, or what do you think?
No. I'll let you go here 1 second, Nick. So this is my thing. Let me tell you a little story. I was on Here's the Storm earlier yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I was
Take
playing
me
with
away,
this guy. I was playing with this guy, Thrall. He was doing pretty good. And I was Rexar, and I was doing exceptionally good. But he kept on, like, everyone else on the team was doing garbage pail shit. So he kept on, like, nagging on me. He's like, this is a bad, it was Towers of Doom. And he's like, this is a bad map for Rexar. You don't know what you're doing. Like, you're such an idiot. Like, going off and off. So he messaged me after the game. He's like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. He's like, I'm just trying to, like, teach you like a thing about the game. I was like, you're entitled. And like at the end of it, we basically just ended off like disagreeing. But like it wasn't one of those things where it was like, I want to go over and rip this guy's head off and kill him. That would kill someone. Um but what I'm trying to get to is the lesson of the story is we have to like if we're in these safe zones, we're less likely to learn. We're less likely to be put in situations where you have to, yeah, that could have went bad. I could have said like you're a douchebag, you don't know what you're talking about. But it ended up like we ended up being civil, and like at the end of it, I was like, wow, I feel a little bit better. It didn't feel good while we were doing it, but at the end, I was like, I feel better about this. Like I may try to work out disputes with people on video games more often and like try to find common ground, or at least stand by what I think and respect them in the same vein. And when you put yourselves into these echo chambers where this was what Microsoft is essentially saying. Now the swearing is a little bit different because of kids and whatnot, but when you put yourself in these echo chambers, you're less likely to learn. You're more likely to reinforce things that are potentially bad that you perceive as not being bad, but everyone else, So I just don't. I think it's a really bad idea. I don't think it's good.
Yeah, it's not at all. All it's gonna do is end up dividing the community further, just because you're separating players. And the best thing about video games is meeting all sorts of different players. But how do I know I'm not gonna get in trouble for something that I would say to my friends, but someone may take a little bit more offensive? I guess what I'm trying to say here is, guys, I'm definitely gonna get banned off Xbox. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
ban hammer's gonna
your
come
time's
down.
coming, yeah.
We'll see you on PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there. Steam will accept me, but I just can't believe, like, I mean, I wish they would just do like a Xbox for kids and then an Xbox for adults and just
Yeah,
make
good
it free
point.
range.
Very good point. I just I can't get over this, man. It's just every time I'm hearing about this in the tech industry, and
Mm-hmm.
it it's it's a ba-
I
it's
think
bad, it's bad
anytime
practices.
anytime
It's
I
it's
hear
subverting people's rights and
Mhm.
their ability to express themselves. Like that, no one that there's collateral damage being done here when these things happen.
anytime that I hear inclusive anymore, it just makes me think of like that they're just saying that they just don't want opinions on their platform that they don't like. And it's just like their subjective view of what they what they think is right and what they think is wrong, you know. And I just don't think that that's the right way to manage any platform. And I think, like, to both your points, this isn't actually more inclusive. I think all you're doing is segmenting people into more groups, and they're just gonna like hate each other even more than they have in the past, because they're not gonna be able to have conversations with each other, you know. But I think the other thing that was pretty blatant to me here is just that what moderator is going to be able to handle this voice chat in these clubs and be able to like differentiate between what is okay for the club and what's not.
Me. I'll do it.
Moderator for all the clubs.
Phantom's got it.
Be Phantom.
All right, I'll moderate everything. Call me the gatekeeper. I will.
He's everywhere.
I agree to that because I'm pretty sure that you've I don't want to, speak for you, but I'm pretty sure you have the same thoughts as me. Everybody should be able to say whatever the hell they want.
Absolutely.
Like, transparency the whole way around, baby.
It's just going to push people off their platform. I'll tell you what, they're saying that they're not a free speech platform. I'll tell you, if a new console comes out by a completely different company, I don't care how shit they are. If they have a service and they say, hey, free speech is supported, I'm going there first.
What if it's like a arcade? Like,
it's
It's
Atari,
made by
like
EA.
It's made by EA. Yeah.
It's Earthworm Jim. It's the only game they have is Earthworm Jim.
Right.
I'll play
You
it.
can talk shit on everybody. Wasn't that? I mean, it is like, I know they don't want to say they're like free speech platforms, and I don't know. I guess there's some baggage that comes along with that to be a free speech platform. And I think we touched on it briefly. Dave was saying, like, the last time, like, if you're deciding you're not like a free speech platform, you have to be really careful about what's said on your platform, or you're kind of like held, maybe more held accountable for what goes on there. But I mean, this is like the country that was built on this premise of freedom of speech. And like Nick said, like, it's super appealing. Like, even if somebody else comes, like if PlayStation turns around, like Sony, and they're like, hell, like, free speech, like, you can do what you want. Like, we're not your mom, we're not your dad. Like, you're in the world now. You're gonna hear some things you don't like or agree with. Like, that's part of life, unfortunately. Everything isn't like rainbows and sunshine. And
yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. I mean, I really do. Like, I understand that, like, they don't want Xbox Live to be known for this platform where everybody is like just a bunch of idiots the entire time as you play. I totally get it. I understand why they would want to do this, and it's really good PR, of course. That's probably the main reason, but it's just, this isn't the way to go about doing it, I don't think. Like, silencing voices and segmenting people just doesn't work out in the long run. People are gonna find ways to say what they think, and like, the more that you try to shut them down, the more like extreme things they'll say, or the louder their voices will become. I just don't agree with the practice. I know what he's trying to do, but I just don't think it's gonna work.
If anything, it's gonna make kids. I'm gonna make fun of kids even more now, just to see what happens.
Before it comes out, get your digs in.
I like what Ben said a lot. Being subjected to that kind of adversity, allows some room for growth. And maybe like the internet and a video game isn't the best platform for that. Maybe that's not where you expect to find it. But I mean, it's true. Like, granted, he loves playing Rexar, and maybe it was his best map. Maybe it was his worst map. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. Maybe it was the right thing to do. But you take away some information from. You can walk away, like Ben said, you felt pretty good about things afterward. It's uncomfortable at first. Maybe you're subjected to some things that aren't great, but like you guys are saying, like, you can't just divide everybody into their little groups and have them echo things to each other.
Well, you can, but it's not the best route in order for people to be free and to be the best person that they can be.
Well, you can, and then you'll just have Reddit, and Reddit's the biggest cesspool going.
Oh gosh,
Well, 4chan's worse.
Well,
we haven't got in there, but we've had some experiences on Reddit. Let me tell you.
yeah, I can't stand it. Those moderators.